So remember what I said about the Valley of Darkness? That was ×2. A lot of work put into that one, and they did a fantastic job. Very nice job, band. Well, we've come to the namesake of the concert now. The Night of the Living Theremin. If you saw the article in the newspaper, then you have seen the instrument called a theremin, but maybe still have no idea what the heck it is or how it works. So our guest soloist, who is a good friend of mine, he is the middle school and high school band director at Waverly, and he plays in a rock band, Jimmy Likes Pie, and just is a very talented musician. He is going to tell you a little bit more about the theremin, give you a demonstration, and then I actually found a piece that is for band and theremin, believe it or not. So without further ado, please welcome David Gorby.
The picture in the paper didn't show my face, so it really is me. See? I was gonna wear it, but it's really hot, you can't breathe, you know. So this is a theremin. There was a documentary I saw on it once, and I was like, gosh, those are cool. So my friend and I were going to buy one of the kits and put it together, and then we thought, that's a lot of work. So I found an online store that actually sold them, and picked this up, and was really just amazed at the way they worked, and the intriguing part of it being that it's the only instrument that you play without touching. So that was really cool. They were actually invented by a gentleman named Theremin in 1920. He was working for the KGB, trying to come up. He worked on bugs, and so they could bug people's offices and stuff. And he was working on a proximity sensor and came up with this invention, and then thought it was cool. And so he actually went on tour with the invention to Europe, to sold-out concert halls everywhere. Eventually he brought it to the United States, and in 1928 or 1927 struck a deal with RCA, and they were going to produce a bunch of them. And so they came up with the Theremin box, and RCA was putting them out, and then the stock market crashed. So they didn't sell very much. But a few people were still performing with them. The cool thing about this is, like I said, you don't touch it. There is two basic antennae. This antenna creates an electrical field around which you change the pitch, and then there's a loop right here, which is used for volume. Sorry. Has a pretty basic design. There's two knobs on this. One of them controls the size of the wave that's around the antenna, so you can play, again, warning, really high notes, warning, or go down to the lower end, to where that wave, to where it actually gets so big it inverses. So the trick with this is to dial it into the right spot so I can actually match the pitches pretty close. It's hard. and you'll be able to play the melodies and stuff. Because it is such a difficult instrument, it's not very popular. Most people are like, yeah, no thanks, I'll play something easier. In the 1950s, Mr. Moog, most people say Moog, it's M-O-O-G, was making these kits while he was in high school and selling them, and then later on went on to start his own company, and now the Moog synthesizers that were so very popular, he developed that company after making money on these, and now they still put them out. This one's actually a Burns Theremin, and they're not that expensive. This one was only $200. The next level up was $500, and my wife said no. They even make small ones for about $80, so if you want a nice toy, it's a good toy. I will be hanging around afterwards, and if you want to come up and try it, please do. I'm a little lonely. The Theremin Club doesn't have many members, so it'd be kind of cool.
All right, so the piece that I found is called The Haunted Carousel. And it actually is, the way it's written so that you can actually use an iPad with an app called GarageBand, which any of you that have kind of toyed around with making your own music, it's an app where you can kind of do that. And it apparently has a setting where you can make it the Theremin voice, and it just has a keyboard on there, and you just slide your finger and go from note to note, and it just just naturally glissandos like the Theremin does. But we figured, that's no fun. That's too easy. So I knew that Dave had a theremin, which is part of why I looked for the piece in the first place, because normally I wouldn't have even thought of it. And so when I found it, I just thought it would be so cool if it was possible for him to actually do it on his actual theremin. So when you're hearing him playing, you have to realize it is all by ear. There is nothing on here saying what note he's playing. All right? It's all by ear, by muscle memory of your fingers, and that's it. So the nice thing is that the instrument is fairly forgiving because it's just glissandoing from one note to the other. So if you're not there, you just move a little bit closer or further and you'll get there. So eventually, or not. Either way, it just depends on the player.
Not always on time.
Yeah, maybe a couple weeks later. But Dave has done a fantastic job, and I'm really excited to have him. He's always been a big supporter of ours and has helped out with other things too, even just getting kids interested in community band. We actually, as a group, went a couple years ago to play at one of his concerts, just so that the students could see, hey, even if you're not going to be a music major, you can still play music after high school. And that was pretty much all his idea, all right? He wanted us to come in and do that, and that's just the kind of teacher he is. He wants these kids to know that, hey, I know you're not all going to be music majors, but you can still enjoy music and still play it long into your life. So without further ado, this is The Haunted Carousel with Theremin.
There we go. Good, close enough.
Okay.
I'll take it over.
Got knobs, right? Pretty amazing, huh?